Last night, Riverfront Stadium, Game 2. Danny Jackson won his third straight game, going 7 2/3 innings, allowing 2 earned runs while striking out 6. First inning, Eric Davis bounces to third. Howard Johnson looks home, then throws wild over the head of Dave Magadan, allowing Sabo and Larkin to score. Bottom of the ninth, 2 out, Reds leading 3-2. Randy Myers gets Darryl Strawberry looking at strike 3 as the Reds go on to gain a split. Tonight, Tom Browning takes the hill for the Reds. He'll be opposed by the winningest pitcher in the National League, Frank Viola.
From Riverfront Stadium, it's Cincinnati Reds baseball. Join us as the Reds take on the New York Mets.
It's an overcast night here in Cincinnati as we get ready for Game 3 of a 5-game series between the Reds and the Mets. A threat of rain is a chance, but it may stay away for this game. Hi, everybody, and welcome. I'm Johnny Bench along with Tommy Hume, and the Rains have to stay away. This is the second half, and there's a big, important second half meeting between the Mets and the Reds. It'll tell a lot about how good the Cincinnati Reds really are, and are the New York Mets really going to win the East. It's time now to look at Tommy Hume's insight, his blue chip notes.
Well, the first one tonight, we're going to go with fundamentals. We got to start off on the second half, what got them here through the first half. Just do the basics of the game, go right out there and go right at them. Number 2, get to Viola early. You talk about getting somebody early. You have to get this guy. He's averaged over 7 innings per start, so you have to go out there, be selective, but go. Number 3, shut down the Tower of Power. We're talking about Darryl Strawberry, but then you have to look at Tim Tuffle that hits Tom Browning very well. Howard Johnson, 15 home runs career against the Reds. So we want to go out there and just try to shut down these 3, but that's the way I feel it has to go tonight to be able to win.
Well, it's a very deep lineup because you do not mention Kevin McReynolds, Orlando Mercado, and Mark Carrion. They just seem to be hitting the ball out of the ballpark and with authority. This is a ball club that is really turning things on under Bud Harrelson, who took over for, of course, Davey Johnson. And this ball club has really responded. The Cincinnati Reds, which club is the Cincinnati Reds? The one we saw in the first month of the season, or the one right now just sort of playing 500 baseball? We'll find out, and we'll give you the starting lineups right after these messages. Producer-director for Cincinnati Reds baseball, Roy Alfers. Associate producer is Jesse Jackson. Cincinnati Reds baseball is a special presentation of Channel 5 Sports. Well, a beautiful night for baseball if you consider the temperature. Of course, we mentioned the overcast skies. Lineups have been exchanged here and a nice crowd on hand. The Cincinnati Reds have been averaging around 30,000 per home game. And tonight another crowd filling in. A lot of the golf pros coming from the senior tournament are down below us, and they're going to be enjoying the game. A lot of them came out last night. And speaking of last night, Danny Jackson did a marvelous job. He has pitched well, has not been rewarded quite as much as a good effort that he has made would expect, but he has been a workhorse, and it is going to be very responsible for him to continue that good pitching. The Reds are taking the field, and time now to look at the starting lineup. And with those, here's Tommy.
Thank you, John. What a game tonight. Matchup between Frank Viola and Tom Browning. And we're going to take a look at the Mets lineup right now. Leading off, playing third base, Howard Johnson. At first base, the Browning killer, I would have to say, Tim Tuffle. Greg Jeffries at second. Darryl Strawberry in right field. Batting sixth. Fifth, Kevin McReynolds in left field. Mark Carrion will be in center. The shortstop, Kevin Elster. Doing the catching, Orlando Mercado. Frank Viola. Defensively for the Reds in the outfield, Glenn Braggs in left, Eric Davis in center, Paul O'Neill in right. On the infield from third base, Chris Sabo. At shortstop, Barry Larkin. Mariano Duncan will be at second. Todd Benzinger will be at first base tonight. And behind the plate, Joe Oliver. On the mound, Tom Browning. Has pitched well all year. Earned run average right up there among the leaders. Has a 5-6 career record with a 284 earned run average against New York, including 1-1 this year with a 321 in 2 starts. He lost 5-0 at Shea Stadium on May the 2nd. And he's out for a dueling game tonight, I would have to say, with Frank Viola. Both of them pretty quick workers as far as, so we're looking for a quick game out of these guys. Not looking for it, but I think it will be.
Yeah, I think you can expect that. talking about Darryl Strawberry early in the telecast. There he sits, and he put on a show here today, folks, in batting practice. Straightaway center field, about 15 rows in those green seats, and those folks are just waiting for him, and he was planting them there, and it was quite a show. I mean, I found myself watching it. He is hot, and today he broke off negotiations with the New York Mets. They offered 3 years. He said that's not long enough. He wants something similar to Jose Canseco. We're ready to get baseball on your way, and there's the first pitch, high for a ball. Howard Johnson hitting at 242. He's taken 14 out of the ballpark, and he's driven in 48. His error costly last night, as you saw. Ball 2.
We went over this blue chip notes. I wanted to say contain the whole lineup, and then you mentioned the rest of it. I mean, basically, that's what you have to do with this team, as hot as they are right now.
Well, they have won consistently for Bud Harrelson as the third pitch of the game for a strike, 2-1. They've won 7 of 9. They're 28-10 under Bud. They've won 25 out of their last 30, and they are chasing very closely the Pittsburgh Pirates. The 2-1 count to Howard Johnson. Strike on the outside edge. Yes, sir. Those Mets are right there. Pittsburgh playing outstanding baseball. 18 games above 500. The Mets only 1 game back. And look at those Montreal Expos. They are hanging in there. That Mark Gardner pitched a great game last night against the Atlanta Braves. Walked no one, struck out 10, 4 hits. Swing and a miss on an off-speed pitch, down and away. The Reds are leading, and by virtue of that split last night, 7.5 over the San Francisco Giants, 9 in the loss column. But if they lost that second game, it would have dropped to 6.5. The Giants are getting some solid pitching from some of their youngsters, and some of their veterans are ready to come back. You almost hope that they get into the rotation because the young guys have been doing such a good job, and Scotty Garrelts was awakened by the Reds.
Roger Craig comes up with these pitchers, and they more or less say that both him and Norm Sherry have a lot to do with it. Plus, the new kids on the block, as you would say.
Here's a high drive, left field, and the Browning killer will be retired. 2 gone.
For the first time around for these guys, you wonder what might happen the second time around for if they face the same teams again. And that's what we're hoping for here as far as the San Francisco Giants new pitchers go.
Well, here's Greg Jeffries hitting at 306. Jeffries has not fared well against the Reds. He hits a drive towards the gap in right center field. Long run, Eric Davis. He'll get there. What a play by Eric Davis. He just outran it. 1-2-3 inning for Browning and the Reds. It's scoreless after a half inning.
Back in Cincinnati, Riverfront Stadium, take a look at the Reds lineup now. Leading off, playing third base, Chris Sabo, followed by Barry Larkin at shortstop. And what a great catch you just saw by Eric Davis in center field. Glenn Braggs in left. Paul O'Neill will be in right. Next, Todd Benzinger at first base. Second baseman, Mariano Duncan. Hitting eighth, the catcher, Joe Oliver. And Tom Browning is on the mound. Defensively, take a look at defensively for the Mets. In left field, Kevin McReynolds. Center field, Mark Carrion. In right, Darryl Strawberry. On the infield, Howard Johnson at third, Kevin Elster at short. Greg Jeffries at second base, Tim Tuffle at first base. The catcher, Orlando Mercado. And on the mound, Frank Viola. Frank Viola getting ready to work quickly here.
As Sabo takes a strike on the outside corner, 296, and then look at his numbers.
13-3. 1-0 versus Cincinnati this year. 5-5 with the Mets last year. Making his second career appearance and his start versus Cincinnati. He shut the Reds out 5-0. May the 2nd complete game, where he walked 1, struck out 11. Excellent control. Slow curveball. Likes to pitch inside.
Oh, good off-speed pitch there. There's his bread and butter right there, and it's 2-2.
I feel like last year they made a lot of mistakes by trying to throw that changeup too much instead of Frank Viola, that is, to throw his changeup too much and not throwing his fastball enough. So maybe we'll see a little bit more fastballs out of him tonight.
Tried the high fastball, hoping Chris might chase it. He doesn't. 3-2. Barry Larkin on deck. As Sam Terlazzo and Tony Perez coach along the line. Bruce Fleming getting ready to call a ball or a strike. He calls it low, and Frank Viola a little bit disgusted with that call.
He's not looking at Bruce. He turned away and looked at him. I would imagine he'd have to be saying something under his breath. He knows he has to throw a strike to Chris. Knee high, but we don't know where it was. Looked good. Bruce didn't think it looked too good.
I think Chris took it just out of the fact that he may not have expected that pitch, but it turns out. So Chris is still in 21 bases, and here's Barry Larkin, who's been hot. He looks at a strike. Well, it doesn't pay you to argue with the umpires. Ask Norm Charlton. And last I asked Norm, what'd you say? And he said, all I said was it wasn't a strike. And he threw me out. He thought I said something else. Amazing. No balls and a strike. Sabo started. He holds up. Here's a ball hit down the left side. Sabo will turn. And Larkin may have a shot of getting thrown out at second, but Jeffries didn't know where he was.
This is a great play, really, by Kevin McReynolds, because he goes over and knows that he cannot get Chris Sabo at third base. So he's going right to second base, but Greg Jeffries, not, as you said, John, not knowing where Barry Larkin was, so he's able to slide in there cleanly with a two-base hit.
And a chance to get to Frank Viola early.
And another $400.
And another $400 for the fun for Barry Larkin. Make that a good effort by Barry Larkin, and that will bring the totals to $28,000 for the Caring Program for Children.
Talked about a good fielding by McReynolds with excellent base running by Chris Sabo and Barry.
Well, Chris had the ball in front of him, and Barry just hustled his way to second. Fastball fouled back. Eric Davis turned this crowd on in the top half of the first inning on the drive by Greg Jeffries into the right center field gap.
Tell me that leg doesn't feel good. The way he went and caught that ball, kept his eyes on it all the way into the glove.
No balls and 2 strikes. Fastball, and he missed away. One thing that has hurt the Reds is getting the runners in from scoring position. And Frank Viola is tough. He got him with an off-speed pitch, and it was a good one. A lot of arms, legs, motion, and everything else, and he pulls the string.
Exactly. Not seeing the pitcher right here, but everything was all arms and everything. It just looked like that he was going to come in there with that fastball. And watch right here. Everything's kind of flying all over the place, and that makes such a deceiving pitch. So an excellent pitch with that changeup by Frank Viola.
Ben Bragg's hitting .351. Looks at a fastball and a good one right down on the corner at the knees. Braggs has hit safely in 17 of the 18 games he has started since coming over in the trade for Ron Robinson to the Milwaukee Brewers on June the 9th. Paul O'Neill on deck. Scoreless game. We're in the bottom of the first inning. Sabo leads at third, and Larkin out at second. Ball downstairs. Braggs has had occasion, of course, to see Frank Viola from the American League when he was with the Minnesota Twins.
And he's just looking for a pitch right now where he can drive it, get a fly ball in the outfield, at least to get a sacrifice, get that runner home.
Well, a ground ball to short or second would do the trick as well, because they are playing back.
Really, it just made contact right now.
They're trying to keep this inning as close as they can. Trying to, if they can, to allow maybe one run to score and take it out. You know, Frank Viola will keep you in the game. 13-3 for the big left-hander. Oh, that's arms and legs in motion and nothing coming out. A good changeup again. That's why you get to be 13-3 and lead the league in ERA.
Throwing that breaking ball or all-speed pitch when you're behind in the count.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. And has hit 3 home runs and driven in 9. Ball in the dirt, blocked nicely by Mercado, and the count's full. Tommy, we talk about arms and legs on Frank Viola. I mean, everything comes at you.
Well, his glove comes out, and he doesn't really use his right arm to pull back. You know, like you talked like Tom Seaver always told about taking that arm and tucking it in like you're going to punch somebody with your elbow in the stomach. Maybe that's why he deadens it. He just deadens it. That way his left arm comes through.
And it shows you that glove. Here's that change again, looks like. In the dirt, swung, picked up by Mercado, and back-to-back strikeouts for Frank Viola.
Well, as you said, you don't get 13-3 by just going out there and pitching in the easy situations.
Paul O'Neill, 287. 11 home runs, 46 RBIs. First 2 men have reached. 3 and 4 batters have gone down swinging. Foul back off the facing of the boxes up here.
Viola's won his last 4 starts and his last 7 decisions. 6 out of his last 7 decisions.
Strike call.
Paul looking for that local and got the express.
Frank had a nice tour of duty in the All-Star game through 7 pitches. I think this is the changeup. Downstairs, and Frank was surveying a little bit. It was down, and it's 1-2.
I believe that's what he does on that off-speed pitch. That time there, he took that right elbow and he pulled that thing back in there and drove it back in to get that left shoulder through to throw that hard fastball.
Ball in the dirt, and again blocked by Mercado, and it's 2-2. When you say pull, obviously, well, maybe on the changeup he's trying to throw that glove up in the air and just cause some distraction there.
Just to maybe deaden it and not get all that drive from the left side. Because when you throw that fastball, you want to be able to drive that side, your throwing side, into the glove.
2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. Todd Benzinger on deck. Chris Sabo leading at third. Barry Larkin down at second. Infield deep, outfield straight away. Swing and a miss, and he strikes out. Eric Davis, Glenn Braggs, and Paul O'Neill. They end the inning. 2 men stranded. One hit in the inning. It's scoreless. First pitch is taken for a ball. The second pitch is fouled off, the count even at 1 on Darryl Strawberry. Strawberry has turned it up a notch. And it has paid great dividends for this New York Met ball club. Mile high. I lost it.
Eric's got it.
Eric found it. I know it went straight away center, but it was so high in these clouds this time of the evening, and it's so important, especially for the catcher, to talk to the infielders, and a lot of times for the outfielders, to say, make sure that you holler and help me out. The dust time, a very difficult time. Here's Kevin McReynolds, average only at 247, very uncharacteristic for Kevin. And he takes the ball away. Sable will play just a step back of third. The outfield deep and straight away. Popped foul, and it will reach the seats.
We didn't have enough time to say something about Darryl Strawberry. You talked about the batting practice in the center field. Did you see the ones he hit in the red seats?
No.
I saw him hit a line drive about 3 rows up right down the line in the red seats.
You have to check his bat. He only has 21 home runs. It was funny during the All-Star game as Browning delivers, and it's hit foul down the left side, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Bill Murray emceed along with Tom Brenneman the home run hitting contest, and Strawberry was talking about, and he introduced him from the dreaded New York Mets. And Strawberry started walking towards him. He threw down the mic, and they acted like they were shadow boxing. Ball 2 called, and he's clean, he's mean, and now he's sober. Or now he's clean, he's mean, and now he's clean or sober. It was so funny. That got McReynolds' attention. Inside, 3-2 the count.
Bill Murray, being a big baseball fan.
Big.
He's got 4 teams.
High drive, right center field, and Paul O'Neill will make the catch, and there's 2 outs. 1 strikeout and 4 fly balls. Well, Martinez leads the league, Tommy, in 1/3 of an inning. Well, Browning just went by him, and Viola is closing in on Martinez, but 2 very solid performers from day in and day out, start in and start out.
Frank Viola, this is his 18th game started. Has 5 complete games. And Tom Browning, this is his 20th game started with 2 complete games.
Here's Mark Carrion. He's hit 10 home runs and 130 at bats. Hope I got that right. 10 home runs,
You're
and
right.
21 RBI.
Because they were talking about how many home runs he has against left-handers.
Ground ball up the middle, off the leg of Browning. There's Mario Duncan. Mariano is able to throw him out. And it's a 1-2-3 inning, and they'll check on Browning as he comes in. Scoreless after 1.5.
Reds baseball has always been a good entertainment value, but never more so than during family night at Riverfront. Our next Edie's Grand Ice Cream Family Night is coming up Friday, July 20th, when the Reds take on the Phillies at 7:35. When the head of the household pays full price for 1 ticket, the rest of the family will pay only half price. It's a great deal, so remember, discount tickets are available when purchased in advance of game day only. That's Edie's Grand Ice Cream Family Night Friday, next Friday, that is, July 20th at 7:35.
Todd Benziger fouls off the first pitch. 280 is the average for Todd. 4 home runs, 39 RBIs. I remember that in the New York series, he checked his swing to avoid hitting the bat boy. Sprained a wrist. He's back and looking at a pitch inside. Reds lead the National League in team batting average at 272 and second in team ERA at 311. Big leg kick, line shot, center field. Seemed to be able to read that pitch. Seemed like with a lot of motion, he throws the off-speed pitch.
He really slowed everything down a lot that time. That's something you probably like to see right there.
Yes, sir. Lights go on. Bells start to ring.
And there is somebody home.
And Frank Viola helped that statistic, didn't he, when he struck out Davis, Braggs, and O'Neill with runners at second and third. Ground ball to Elster, the sure-handed shortstop. Will bounce it over to Tuffle, and the unsure hands of Tim Tuffle not able to pick it up, and it's E3. Well, it'll be E6. Bounced it in the dirt.
Mariano, another off-speed pitch, hits it hard to shortstop. Elster has plenty of time, but he just bounces it over there, and that's what you get for running also. Mariano hustling down the line. Just never know. They'll be running them hard all the time.
Mariano has stolen 9 out of 14, and it'll be Joe Oliver. Line shot, right field, base hit. Duncan will not challenge Darryl Strawberry's arm. Second hit of the game for the Reds, and with 1 out, runners at first and second. Boy, Lou Pinilla's got to like that. So does Tony Perez. Joe Oliver is really trying to change his stance. He's been diving in so much and takes a shot at right field with Viola. Browning will stand in. Tom's average 1-1-1. 5 for 45. 3 sacrifice hits. Jack Armstrong leads the Reds with 8 sacrifice bunts. Johnson playing in. Taken low, and it's ball 1. There was a 15th error committed by Kevin Elster, and he went through a streak, Tommy, last year of errorless games. The charge, the bunt, the foul back.
And they talk about Howard Johnson.
How many has Hojo got?
He's got 19.
They had a big one last night, of course, which allowed Sabo and Larkin to score and put the Reds up early. 1 ball, 1 strike. Sabo wanting to hit with runners at second and third. Browning needs to bunt it to third base. Good bunt. Left side. Viola will throw a strike to Jeffries, covering at first, and the sacrifice complete as the runners advance.
Just what the pitcher is ordered to do. Tom Browning makes an excellent bunt right here. Makes the pitcher feel it. Not able to get enough time to get the guy at third base. Mariano Duncan. And a good bunt by Tom Browning. And another opportunity.
Over at third, Mariano Duncan. Joe Oliver down at second. Sabo, who walked his first time up. He's got Johnson only a step behind third and off the line. Fastball up and in. The National League has hit .240 against Frank Viola. That's 10th best. Sid Fernandez is only allowed a .207 batting average against him. Off-speed pitch down and away. 2-0. Larkin on deck. Bottom of the second inning here at Riverfront. Circle change, off-speed pitch. Down and away, missed it. Folks, if you want to watch what I'm watching from this angle, as Frank Viola goes into the glove, see where those fingers go. If they circle around the ball and the middle finger's on top of it, it's some kind of, not necessarily a circle change. See, there's 2 fingers on top, something hard. Fastball right on the edge. 3-1.
Another thing you look at is the type of pitcher. A veteran pitcher waits for all the signs from the catcher. Doesn't start up too quick, even though it might be the last sign. We don't know which sign it is, but if it is the first or second sign, at least he's waiting for all the signs. So the guy on second base, the runner on second base, is not able to say, well, it's the first or second sign.
You mean a guy like Ray Knight or Ronnie Oster?
Or Junior Kennedy.
Or some of those guys that were so good at picking up signs. They could pick those things up better than my pitchers could.
The only thing I remember is one time that Junior Kennedy was up to bat, and Baby told him what was coming, and he hit that grand slam off of Bill Connell.
The inspector caught him. For the Chicago Cubs at that time, I believe.
Right.
Ball 4. He's walked Sabo for the second time tonight, and it's the second walk he has given up on the evening, and the bases are loaded for Larkin, who doubled down the left field side. His first time up. Over at third, Mariano Duncan. Out at second, Joe Oliver. And Sabo waits at first. Reds threatened in the first. Runners at second and third. Nobody out. Davis brags. O'Neill went down swinging. Now an error, a base hit, and a walk have loaded the bases with 2 outs. Pitch misses inside.
Barry Larkin is the guy that we want off the bat with 2 outs. Men in scoring position or men on base. Excellent clutch hitter.
I noticed in batting practice, this is the best I've seen Barry set up at home plate as far as his hitting is concerned since the early part of the season. Off-speed pitch. 1-1. You can see a lot of time just visually see a hitter when he gets in the box, see that his hands aren't comfortable, that his feet aren't his body is not on balance, his weight transfer is a little different. He just doesn't feel comfortable. He's feeling for it. But Barry set up from this angle right there. Excellent. Oh, that was a turn. He was spinning on that one, and Viola challenged him. And Barry would like to have that pitch back. If we could see that one again, you will be able to tell he is right on it. He's trying to catch up with it. He's got to protect on the off-speed pitch. And
that's what you call a spin.
Good location, though, really, for Viola. When you give him credit, you saw that ball right at the letters. Hoping to get him to chase that pitch, and he almost got on top of it. Too many shakeoffs right there. Now, why is he so effective? Because in the back of your mind, you're thinking changeup. And here comes the fast pitch. Got him swinging. He went upstairs with him again, and when he's needed it, he's got it. The strikeout, a big friend of Frank Viola. He's holding the Reds scoreless after 2. Back at Riverfront as the game is scoreless after 2, but not without its excitement. The Reds have stranded 2 in the first, 3 in the second. Browning has worked hard, and no one has reached base as of yet. He got a little assist off the bat of Mark Carrion when he kicked it, or it deflected towards Mariano Duncan.
Tom's a scraper. He'd do any way to get that out.
Strike on the outside edge on Kevin Elster, the shortstop. Elster, Mercado, and Viola in the inning. Fouled on the right side. I know I said Mario Duncan when he first got it, but I corrected it immediately because Mariano is the name. Elster has driven in 41 runs. 8 home runs. Even though they average at 219, he has been productive in clutch situations. He looks at the ball upstairs. It's 1-2. Two balls and 2 strikes.
Bruce is pretty much going to make the pitchers be on the plate. Has not called a couple pitches on Viola.
Hit off the end of the bat. Eric Davis has it measured in center field. Elster's 41 RBIs would be 3rd on the Reds as far as RBI total. He hit his 8th home run last night. Only 1 ground ball out so far in this game from the New York Mets. Orlando Mercado looks at the ball upstairs, hitting .240 with 3 home runs and 7 ribbies. Hopped in the air. Shortstop. And 2 gone.
What kind of sky would you call this? Not a high sky, but the ball just kind of becomes part of the sky when it goes up there.
The light's reflecting off the clouds, and actually the clouds are fairly low, you'd have to say. Of course, you would know that better than I after you tried to land and miss the runway this morning. But
especially when they said, "Oh, we're going to go for another one."
Fastball foul back by Viola, hitting 156. It's just not quite dark enough to get the complete background, and because of the gray and the blue still above. Just sort of gets a little bit tough to pick it up at times, especially from our vantage point. But so far the Reds and the Mets have not had any problems. 2 gone. As Browning tries for another 1-2-3 inning, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Breaking ball. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Second strikeout of the night for Browning. He's retired 9-for-9. We'll go to the 4th in a quick moving game. Makes up the bottom of the 3rd. Bottom of the 3rd inning, we want to remind you this copyrighted telecast comes to you through the courtesy of Multimedia Entertainment, authorized under television rights granted by the Cincinnati Reds, solely for the entertainment of our audience, and any publication, reproduction, or other use of pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Cincinnati Reds is prohibited. The announcers on this telecast are employed by Multimedia Entertainment with the approval of the Cincinnati Reds. Eric Davis will lead off here in the bottom of the 3rd.
Congratulations to Eric and Sherry Davis on the birth of their 2nd child.
Looks like Sasha
Care Davis. Wednesday.
That's S-A-C-H-A-K-I-A-R-E Davis. Swing and a miss. Their other child is 4 today. Pitch misses away. 3-1. Ground ball left side, backhanded by Elster. Long throw. He didn't get him. He did get him. Elster took some time, but got the play.
Eric hits the ball hard, right in the hole, maybe on the end of the bat a little bit, but Elster comes over and makes a great throw.
And he got him.
He's coming down when he had the ball. Good play by Elster, good call by Mr. Pulley.
Frank Pulley is at first base tonight. Bruce Fleming, of course, behind home plate, the familiar figure. Steve Ripley out at second. And Gary Darling. We'll get some shots of those guys, and some people want to see them. They ride in, and of course there's family and friends. There's Bruce Fleming. Frank Pulley. Hit foul over the right side. Room for Tuffle? No, but he climbs the tarp and tries to make a chance. Steve Ripley out at second base. And over at third base is Gary Darling. Temperature right around game time, just about 67 degrees. The high probably didn't get much more than 72 today, room temperature. Fastball misses away. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Viola has been tough when he has had to be.
Reds
foul.
Stranded 5 runners on base the first 2 innings. First inning, second, and third, no outs. And Frank Viola proceeded to strike out the side.
Ball in the dirt, bounces up, almost gets Bruce Fleming. Team fielding average for the Mets is they're 11th in the league, 975. Paul O'Neill will follow in the order behind Glenn Braggs. The infield deep and the outfield deep and straight away. The payoff pitch, high chopper. Howard Johnson, good throw, 2 gone. Well, the senior tour in town, and unfortunately for the Johnny Bench special, he got rained out yesterday. The guy in the white hat, the familiar face of Mr. Walt Zembrisky. There on your left behind the guy with the jacket and Bob Wynn, of course, the Dayton native. He's a big fan of baseball. And just on the far left, just go one more real quick. That is Ken Still right there with the red sweater on. Base knocked down by Johnson, and he'll have no play. Base hit given. I was right the first time. It looked like he hit that ball harder than that to begin with.
See right here, right off to the end of the bat. Howard Johnson just couldn't squeeze that one. It must have hit him on the heel of the glove, or
you know, Tommy, how when a batter hits one back to you and you sort of flinch
and it's not hit that hard.
It's not as hard as you get. And I think he just closed it a little early. Ball will take it. Ball is only 8 for 15 in stolen bases. Ball downstairs.
You were talking about those golfers today. I was watching the tournament on TV. Chichi Rodriguez had finished playing, and they asked him, he said, I love Cincinnati. I love Cincinnati. I like the Cincinnati Reds. They're my favorite team. And they said, well, you're going to go down to the game? And he says, no, I don't go to the games. I just watch them on TV.
Well,
so
today,
he's watching.
Today, well, we'll talk about what happened to Chichi today. A beagle came out and stole his ball. Boy, they're having a good time. I tell you, it's just fun to see those guys. Boy, can they play. Two guys at 6 under today. Hit on the ground. Elster will flip to Jeffries. The inning over. A base hit for O'Neill. The Reds have stranded 6 in 3 innings. It's scoreless. Tom Browning will face the 10th man of the night here in the 4th inning. Long run for O'Neill. He'll run a little farther as the ball is carried a little bit by the breeze towards the line. One gone. Chichi says he's his biggest fan. Well, I tell you, those guys that out there, there's amazing how many really like the Reds over the years.
We'll take a look at the National League JTM scoreboard. Los Angeles defeats Chicago today in Chicago. That's a final. San Diego and Pittsburgh, they're in the first. Dennis Rasmussen versus Doug Drabeck. Montreal and Atlanta rained out. Philadelphia and Houston getting underway later. Jose De Jesus versus Mike Scott. San Francisco at St. Louis. Don Robinson 4-1 versus Jose De Leon 6-7. You're up to date on the JTM scoreboard. Take a look at the American League at the bottom of the inning.
Off-speed pitch misses, and it's 1-1 to Tim Tuffle. Slider down and in, 2-1. Off-speed pitch away, 2-2, and Tuffle has basically owned Tom Browning, but he's also hit well against the Reds, hitting over more than 300, over 300 against him during his career.
314, I believe. 5 home runs.
Browning got him. Third strikeout of the night. We had
take a look at this last pitch right here. Tom throwing a breaking ball right down outside part of the plate. It might have been that screwball.
It's the one they've been swinging that off of Viola.
An excellent pitch by Tom. That's what he needs to get that guy out.
Jeffries flied to the gap. Eric Davis outran it, caught it for the third out of the first inning. Takes a pitch up and in. Off the mask of Joe Oliver.
Jeffries came up there limping a little bit.
It looked like something may have been in his back. That's the way I feel when my lower back bothers me, is he swung and went right through it. He takes a deep breath and something in his back. He's not going to turn around and let anybody else know it, though. Off-speed pitch. Did you see that, Wentz?
He's not even old.
Some of us are athletic enough to get hurt. Ground ball. He's going to run slowly to first. He is bothered by that back. It's a 1-2-3 inning. In the bag again for Browning and the Reds. We will go to the bottom of the 4th, and we are scoreless. We're in the bottom of the 4th of a scoreless game. Jeffries out to second base, but he's hurt. I mean, he's hurting it, and we could see it on the swing that he tried to make, Tommy.
He takes a good swing. That was the right there.
Yeah, I know that old feeling.
Must have been like after he swung, maybe coming back, and maybe, you know, you get the pleurisy sometimes. You take a deep breath, and it just
I'm not that old.
feels like your chest is caving in.
Pitch away, 2-0. And he's still moving around out there a little gingerly. When he took off out of the box, he didn't run very quick. He is not comfortable right now. It is that lower back, that lower sacroiliac. Ball in the dirt, 3-0. Viola has had to throw a few pitches. He's had to work out of jams in the first. Runners at second and third and no one out. He got 3 strikeouts in a row, and he left the bases loaded with a strikeout in the second. Off-speed pitch. Make that a fastball. 3-1.
Take a look at him coming out of the box. Oh, that hurt when I swung. He did all he could just to hold up.
Fouled at the plate. Yeah, if he looks up, everybody knows he's hurt, and he doesn't want the first base coach to know it. And he's not doing himself or the team any good right now by trying to be out there. Grounded up the middle into center field, base hit. Duncan leads off the fourth with a base hit. 4th hit of the night. The Reds have had one in every inning. There's been 2 walks and an error. Oliver single to right his first time up. Pitch up and in. He's telling Mr. Oliver, don't try to reach out and take my fastball out over the plate the other way. I'm going to back you up a little bit. Try to keep you honest. We're over. We'll get Mariano back. Mariano has stolen 9 out of 14 attempts this year. The 1-0 pitch. No, he'll go to first, and that's one of those borderline when you step about a 45-degree angle to first. 13-3 for the big left-hander. Circle change, or that off-speed screwball. Good one in a good location. 1-1.
Reds have stolen 107 bases this year and 138 attempts. 78%, led by Barry Larkin has 23 and 21, and Sabo has 21, and Billy Hatcher has 23. You know, with that good fastball, and they don't really know when he's going to throw the changeup. That's pretty evident as far as the way they take swings at those changeups that he's throwing.
This is a hard pitch.
But there he goes.
Hit and run was on, loop to right field. Strawberry will make the play, and there's one gone.
Take a look at the American League JTM scoreboard. Minnesota at Baltimore in the first game. Minnesota wins it. Second game just getting underway pretty soon. West versus Johnson. Chicago is at New York. Peterson for Chicago. Carey for New York. Kansas City at Boston. They're in the first. Tom Gordon against Mike Boddicker. Texas at Detroit. Bobby Witt. They're rained out. Frank Tanana, who are scheduled to pitch. Toronto and California, Stottlemyre and Abbott. Later tonight, Milwaukee and Oakland, Knutson and Stewart. Later tonight, Cleveland and Seattle, Tom Candiotti and Matt Young. They're on the coast. They're up to date now on the JTM American League scoreboard.
Oh, Browning bunt. This time he will try. He squared and then swung away, and now it's 0-2. out in front of the plate. Mercado will barehand and throw to Jeffries, and there's 2 gone. Sacrifice number 2 for the night. And watch Greg Jeffries walk away as the rain starts to fall here at Riverfront. Jeffries trying to find his way out to second base.
He's trying to, I don't know, he kind of limps a little bit, and then you see the misting rain coming down now as the umbrellas go up.
He is standing behind Steve Ripley, bent over, trying to stretch that back out. And now for the 3rd time tonight, the Reds with a runners in scoring position. A runner in this case, Mariano Duncan. Well, they listen to the weatherman. Look at that sea of umbrellas and the ponchos. People want to stay and watch this. Well, this rain not really predicted. They said it was going to stay away until after midnight. Off-speed pitch, bounced in the dirt, blocked by Mercado. Chris has walked in both appearances. He's 2nd in the league in doubles, tied with Jeffries and 3 others. Wallach leads the league with 27, while the other 5 have 21. Wallach's having a good year. He made the All-Star team. Presley's in there. Slide one down, and you can put Sabo in there. Put him up ahead of Bond. Come on, Maryland. Strike on the outside edge, 2-1. This is just a wonderful sight. I mean, everybody in this place brought an umbrella.
Yeah,
and it's every color imaginable down there.
There's not many people leaving either.
Not too many people want to see the game either with all those umbrellas. I mean, this is an ocean of colors. I tell you, everybody's been in a good mood. This has been a good week despite the rain, but go out of here, rain. 3-1 the count. Off-speed pitch and a good one. That is just disaster. You know, the only thing I can relate that pitch to really that I've seen, it's because it's so effective, is Bruce Sutter, split-fingered fastball. You knew it was coming, and you still couldn't hit it.
It was right there, and then all of a sudden it was gone.
He has walked in for the 3rd time tonight, and that is the number of walks that Viola has allowed.
Kind of wonder what Chris Sabo is hitting versus Frank Viola, because he's pitched him very carefully.
Not as good as Eric Yielding. You see the numbers on Eric Yielding?
No.
Like 9 for 12 or something off of Frank. He said, I just try to go the other way with the off-speed pitch, and I don't think he can throw the fastball by me. It's strange, but it worked. Barry Larkin again with a chance to do some damage. Struck out to end the 2nd inning with the bases loaded. He fouls one back. Duncan on. He's at 2nd. Sabo's on at 1st. Barry Larkin with the dirty uniform from the double in the 1st inning.
Barry 5th in the league in multi-game hits. Sandberg leading it with 39. Barry has 30.
I'll take even one hit right now. Good pitch, called a strike on the inside edge. It's 0-2 and advantage to Viola.
Well, this is another situation. Barry gets tough in. We'll take that 31-game multi-game hit. Gwynn with 32, Wallach with 32, McGee has 34.
Might as well add to that fun.
Sure.
$28,000 in it. Let's go for, yes, sir. 28,200 on the way. Throw into second base behind Chris Sabo, and they had him dead to right. If Sabo had just hesitated a moment, he wouldn't have been safe at 3rd. And Larkin comes in with a big RBI, and there you are, $28,200.
Sabo does go to stop.
Ooh, what a slide.
Ball.
What a slide. But again, we mentioned the fact, Tommy, of the injury to Jeffries.
Well, Kevin McReynolds throwing back to second base, and a good slide right there.
Can you run that from the other angle again, Roy? Yeah, from the first angle. Watch this, folks. Watch how Elster lays his glove down.
He lays it down, and Barry goes, Chris goes right around it.
He just lays it on the ground. He doesn't go for the leg. Here it is on the ground right there, and look where his knees are. And good call by Gary Darling.
You notice how Gary Darling's looking around the other side of Howard Johnson.
That was Kevin Elster who went in to make that call. For some reason, of course, Howard Johnson was the cutoff man. Eric Davis, he's 0 for 2. Larkin with 21 stolen bases, Tommy mentioned earlier. He stays at home. Eric swings at the off-speed pitch, doesn't get it. 0-1.
He's only been caught 3 times this year. Of his 21 steals, of his 24 attempts.
He might wait for a count situation. Popped in the air, and it is playable. Mercado will make the play. Mets are out of the inning. The Reds have 1 on the board. As Larkin comes through, we're through 4. It's 1-0 Reds. The ball takes a second pitch for a ball. 22, the home run total for Darryl Strawberry. Line shot, right field. If it stays up, it'll stay off the wall. O'Neill plays it perfectly, throws it back in. First hit of the game for the Mets, and Strawberry has the single. What a rope. I did not think that ball was going to stay in the ballpark.
He didn't get all that top hand. He gets a fastball, and does he hit it hard. Right below. The only thing Paul O'Neill can do is just stand there and wait, and he plays it perfectly, as you said, right off the wall, holding Darryl Strawberry to a 375-foot single.
Here's McReynolds. He looks a strike on the outside edge. He flied to right his first time up.
That's the way we like him.
The Reds are ahead 1-0. They've had 5 hits. They have stranded 8 in 4 innings. That was the first hit and the first base runner of the game for the Mets. Pop on the right side. Benzinger in foul territory will make the play. Well, from the Bradenton Herald. Yes, Tommy, you did. You brought it up for us. The Bradenton Herald. A Legion pitcher in the land named Tom Laraway threw 2 5-inning no-hitters in one night. American Legion doubleheader. They're growing them good down there, huh?
Said he felt better the second game.
10-0 lead, so they shortened the game. No problem. Strawberry 10 for 14 as far as stolen bases. So Browning tries to keep him a little closer. There goes Strawberry. Hit and run, drive center field. Carry on will be the second out of the inning. And Strawberry returns. So with 2 outs, Kevin Elster will bat. Didn't get the score last night. It was late. Pittsburgh beat San Diego 4-3 in 15 innings. Hopped. Room for Benzinger in the front of the dugout. Yes. Single for Strawberry. He's stranded. 1 hit, 1 left. 1-0, and we're 4.5 in.
Have had a lot to celebrate, and Sunday, July 15th, is no exception. The Reds take on the Mets at 2:15, but the celebration starts before the game begins. It's Bugs Bunny's 50th birthday celebration. Birthday Bugs will be at the stadium with some of his friends like Tweety Bird, Sylvester, Daffy Duck, and the Tasmanian Devil. First 15,000 fans in attendance will receive a free Reds Bugs Bunny sun visor. It's Sunday. Great family fun on July 15th at 2:15 at Riverfront. And if you don't think you can make it to the game on Sunday, come on out to Marge's Chevrolet on Montgomery Road in Montgomery. July 14th. That's tomorrow between 1 and 2:30 p.m. And you can see Bugs and all his friends at Marge's Chevrolet, Montgomery Road in Montgomery, and that is tomorrow between 1 and 2:30 p.m.
Glenn Braggs with a base hit here to lead off the bottom of the 5th inning. O'Neill is 1 for 2. He got almost a gift base hit off the glove of Howard Johnson. And now Glenn Braggs wants something to clean his shoe. Very, very light drizzle right now. And while they're doing that, the bat boy will come out and clean off home plate for Bruce Fleming.
Frank Pulley was behind the plate. He just used his foot.
O'Neill looks at a pitch downstairs. Braggs has stolen one in 2 attempts. Looked like he did not get the read of Viola. As Viola was pitching, he was kind of flinching over at first. Tuffle holds. And the throw over will get Glenn back. Nice breeze here. Be nicer if it was about 75 degrees, but wind blowing gently towards from I guess the left field foul line over towards right. Quick throw over will get Braggs back this time. That flag right now very quiet. While different parts of the stadium they're hanging straight down, and other parts the flags are blowing like out over the left field line. This one pulled foul.
Those cameras make that sky a lot bluer too.
Oh, indeed it is. As the Mets wave in the breeze, they are chasing the Pirates. 1 game behind as they start action tonight. Reds holding a 1-0 lead right now and would like to expand it. They've had their opportunities.
Frank Viola holding Glenn Braggs close. Maybe thinking it's a running situation. Hit and run. Steal.
Braggs goes nowhere. Ground ball. Foul. Just wide, and Tony Perez is saying Tuffle touched the ball. Now, of course, Frank Pulley
and Tony know that that's not true.
Said he touched it, but it was foul.
Well, the ball has to be going over the bag to be a fair ball. You can see right there clearly that it is on the foul side of the bag, no matter if he touches it or not.
If he touches it while it's in fair play, before it gets to that bag, though, it would be a fair ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Nobody out. Braggs. Pitch misses downstairs. Todd Benzinger waits on deck. The Reds' 10th base runner of the night is on at first. They have scored 1 run. Swing and a miss on a breaking ball downstairs. O'Neill will go down, and that is the 5th strikeout in the first since Barry Larkin went down to end the 2nd inning with the bases loaded. Tell you what, it's kind of frustrating having base runner after base runner and not driving in the run. Duncan moves on deck as Benzinger now stands in. Chop at the plate. It's foul.
Lou might have been talking to Paul about maybe if he missed the sign or not.
Well, he couldn't miss much of a sign if Braggs didn't go.
saw Lou before the game. There's Hal Morris with
Scott Scudder and the new look of Rob Dibble. No sideburns, folks. And without this sun, it's going to be white wall for a while. You got a little notch above those ears. And
it goes up there pretty high, too.
Wanted to try something different. On the right, Norm Charlton, who will start. He'll get a start. Is it Tuesday he starts? Because Chris Hammond's going to get a start. I thought he was the bad boy. He came up and asked me for an autograph on the thing. I thought he was the bad boy. And, of course, I mean, I kid him a little bit, but I told Bernie, I said, what are the bad boys bothering me for? He said, I'm Chris Hammond. And I said, well, he pitched well in Nashville and deserved the promotion.
He's 10-1.
Yes, sir. Chris Hammond's carrying it with him. What a nice guy.
How about the catcher
folks.
the Reds signed? #1 pick. He's your idol. That's what he said.
Is that right? I did not read that.
Saw it in the paper.
Boston in the Bradenton Herald?
No, I was a winner in Philadelphia.
Y'all get everything in the Bradenton Herald. There's a base hit. Braggs will hold at second base, and with one out, runners at first and second. 7th hit of the night for Cincinnati. Duncan has been aboard twice tonight. Reached on an error by Elster in the second inning. He was left stranded at third. Singled in the fourth to lead it off and scored. 1-0, Reds leading. Our #1 pick was a catcher?
Yes.
That's the kid from Minnesota, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yes,
it was.
It was. That's where he was. He was. He did sign good. Drive right side. He hit it well. Strawberry back to the wall. Off the wall. Here comes Glenn Braggs. Benziger will stop at third. The Reds lead it 2-0. Braggs had some problems going around third base. We saw him cleaning his shoes, and he had a little problem coming around third.
Well, there's that pitch. Inside out it. He drives that ball to right field over the head of Darryl Strawberry that's just strictly pure power. You see Glenn Braggs slip and fall right before he hits the bag at third. Todd Benzinger trying to almost go halfway on that ball, not able to score on it. Takes a good bounce right back to the center
Man, I love
field.
all these cameras. Man, that was great shooting, guys.
Yes, it was.
Our cameraman can do it here in Cincinnati. Runners at second and third. Reds leading 2-0. One out. Oliver up. He's 1 for 2. Browning on deck. Watch the squeeze. Ball in the dirt. Benziger goes to third. Duncan to second. For Duncan, RBI number 25, and that was his 12th double of the year. Fought up the right side. It'll be foul.
I'll tell you, when Mariano hit that ball, I thought I had a chance to get out.
I really did too.
These guys are tippy-toeing around the boxes, the base boxes, because of the drizzle. Just damps it enough to get that top layer just a little muddy.
Shoes really, the surface, the AstroTurf has been wet. I mean, it's got a solid green color to it. Strike call, inside corner, good pitch. But it was wet, even batting practice we could tell, and now the wet spots are, the dry spots I should say, are filled in, and so when they get to that powdery dirt, it just starts to collect, and every little step adds more and more. Browning standing on deck, hoping that he can get some more runs out of Oliver. Top over the mound. Viola will try to go to first, and he does. What a play by Frank Viola. But a run scores, RBI for Oliver, and the Reds lead it 3-0.
right here, Joe Oliver just trying to make contact and does so. And Frank Viola, an excellent fielding pitcher, thinks about going home, but takes a look at home and automatically goes to first base to get Joe Oliver, and Joe knocking in his 30th RBI of the season. Reds leading 3-0. That's a big run.
Ball in the dirt, gets away from Mercado. Reds lead it 4-0 as Duncan comes in on the wild pitch. And that's just lack of concentration.
Frank Viola might have been thinking about the little number that Joe Oliver hit. That's something you have to forget about. Have the pitcher up there with 2 outs, knowing his chances of getting a hit are slim.
What do you think now, Chi-Chi? Oh, yeah, wake up, man. Chi-Chi, it's 4-0. Chi-Chi Rodriguez seeing his favorite club go up 4-0 on the Mets, and Alejandro Pena will go down to the bullpen and start to warm as Frank Viola, a little disgusted with himself, will start to clean off the spikes. Let's pause right now for station identification on the Reds television network. We are back at Riverfront Stadium. It's 4-0. Johnny Bench along with Tommy Hume in the 5th inning with 2 outs. And Bruce Fremming now fed up with a little bit too long of a... What happens, though, it's not the traditional type of spike, Tommy. They got so many cleats underneath there, you have trouble digging in and out. And
a lot of those shoes that you have, they have the regular spikes in the middle, then they have these little tiny ones on the bottom on the inside and outside. Usually a pitcher wears your traditional 6-spike shoe, but nowadays they have all those different ones on the side to keep their footing. No rain is falling.
Strike call. It's 1-1. Reds have not had a chance to face their former teammate John Franco, who sits between Bobby Hida on the left and Ron Darling on the right. Drive left field, hit well, and over the head of Kevin McReynolds, ground rule double. Listen to this crowd.
Tom Browning, all he's doing is trying to put a little wood on the ball. Fastball out over the plate, drills it. Kevin McReynolds played the ball pretty bad right there. Turned to his left, turned back to his right. By that time, he didn't have a chance to even get a glove on it, as the ball bounces over the wall for a 2-base hit.
You could call that about light high, because that's out of about the standard of the lights there and playing shallow. And looks like maybe the break in the doubleheader has made this ball club a little lethargic up to this point. Tom Browning has helped that. And Sabo, who's walked 3 times, stands in. And he looks at ball 1. On the night, Reds have 9 hits. They've put 4 runs across. The Nets have committed an error. Viola has struck out 5 and walked 3. You just saw my lovely Chiron technician. Sabo has walked all 3 times. He said, I cannot see the plate. And they seem to think that this is a big rain. And now, there's the old wipe. And he's not making friends with Bruce Fremming right now.
Well, it's not a very clean plate.
Not a clean plate.
No.
I guarantee you couldn't have had 9 people pick out where the plate was from that shot. So if Viola is having trouble, is it too much to ask? Frank's not a happy camper right now. He's given up 4 runs, and his ball club is, or has been, shut out to this point. Browning waits at second. Reds with 3 runs in the inning. Popped in the air left side. Elster goes back, and he'll make the play. Out of the inning are the Mets, but The Reds have extended their lead to 4-0 with 3 in the inning on 1, 2, 3, 4 hits. It's 4-0 after 5. We're in the top of the 6th inning here at Riverfront. Johnny Bench along with Tommy Hume as Orlando Mercado, the catcher for the New York Mets, leads off. Checks the swing, and it's 2-0.
Alejandro Pena warming up for the Mets. As the pitcher spot will be the second hitter this inning.
High drive, left field. Braggs, warning track, and he will make the play. Mercado takes him deep. Since 1970, I guess that question is, how many Reds have driven in 100 runs? Tony Perez 4 times, Johnny Bench 6 times, Joe Morgan once, Foster 3 times, Parker twice, and Davis twice. Inning over for Viola as Keith Miller will come on to pinch hit. So he will pitch 5 innings, and he will allow 9 hits. He will strike out 5. He'll walk 3. He'll allow 4 runs, 3 earned. That sound about right? Flair, right field. Out of the reach of Duncan, and O'Neill will have to stay back for the after-turf bounce. Miller comes on as a pinch hitter and gets the Mets' second hit of the night.
I would think all of those runs are earned just because of the wild pitch.
After the wild pitch, but the base hit came afterwards as well.
A wild pitch is an earned run, though. It's a pass ball. It's not.
I'll accept that, too. That's why they've never asked me to be the official scorekeeper.
Okay.
Right on top of it. Off-speed pitch down and away from Howard Johnson, who's 0 for 2. In there for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike.
I was saying earlier about Lou. Saw him in the clubhouse, and how you feel, Lou? He says, however that guy feels, that's how I feel. Looking over at Tom Browning. So, well, he just told me he felt great, so I guess you're great. He says, yeah.
Conversations are short and sweet when the Reds don't play well. Some top hand there. Full foul, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Chi played well today. Lee and Hill played well. I know. 6 under out there. Kings Island.
Then you watch Lee Trevino.
I played with him. I was going to play with him. I played four holes in the Pro-Am. Miller over at first. High pop-up shortstop. Should be the second out. It is. You know who won our Pro-Am? The old left-hander. The old left-hander filled in. They shot 19 under. He was laughing about how many putts they made from long distance. He dialed 8.
Oh.
Got long distance.
Well, I was saying about Trevino, first he went over and signed his autographs. Then he talked to the TVs. He goes in a little order every time, they said. Then he goes and talks on the newspaper writers. Then he goes over to the other station, the channel, and does his interviews.
That's the best way. You might as well kind of organize things, and that way everybody knows when they're going to get you, and your time is always under control. All-speed pitch. 2 balls, no strikes. Tuffle has been very successful. We keep coming up with those.
We keep saying it, and it keeps working.
Yes. Off speed again. Misses away. 3-0. Reds leading 4-0. Strike call. Tuffle taking all the way.
Last time out in Philadelphia, Tom Browning, when he pitched, got in a big hurry to try to get the game over. He says, I tried to get 6 outs on 1 batter.
Base hit, second of the inning, third of the game. And Braggs takes the short hop. Quick throw will get him out of there. Tuffle makes a terrible base running mistake and pays for it. Mets are out of the inning. They get 2 hits. It's 4-0, middle of the 6th. Glenn Braggs backed up on that base hit because it started skidding on him. As it turned out, Tuffle thought he could make it to second.
One thing you don't want to do, but when you're really not sure, especially on this AstroTurf, is just to play it safe. And by Glenn Braggs throwing on to third base right to the cutoff man, which you always want to do, Barry is able to make a perfect throw to Mariano to get Tim Tuffle, who made a blunder.
Just like you said in your insights, play fundamental baseball, do the basics, and hit the cutoff man.
The basics, that's what it always comes down to. And we're taking a look at the new pitcher on the mound, Alejandro Pena, coming in for Frank Viola. This is his 25th game of the season. He's worked 35 2/3 innings, given up 36 hits, walked only 11, and he struck out 36.
Barry Larkin looks at a breaking ball outside.
Kind of wonder why his earned run average is so high. He must be giving up quality hits because he's not walking a lot of batters, and his strikeouts to innings really isn't that bad.
He was traded to the Mets from the Dodgers, along with Mike Marshall, for Juan Samuel. Ground ball right side. There's Jeffries, who must be overcoming that little back problem. He's still a little ginger as he goes over to second base, but he's able to handle Larkin's ground ball. There's one gone.
Pena doesn't try to do anything fancy. Just, if you watch him, he's nice and easy. It looks like he's not even trying to, overdo anything. He just kind of takes things as they go.
And his record indicates that. Lifetime 38 and 38. And what is he this year? 2 and 2. Breaking ball over for a strike.
Well, he had a lot of potential when he was in Los Angeles. They thought very highly of him, and just felt like he was tailing off a little. Maybe a change of scenery.
High chopper. It'll be fair. Howard Johnson will have to hurry. He's got a strong arm, but he can't throw out Eric Davis. Base hit.
That's all you can do. A high chopper on Eric Davis, and Howard Johnson has go back. Gets rid of the ball in a hurry. Throw is just not strong enough to get Eric, although it is a close play.
Well, he used the AstroTurf a la Dave Concepcion, and the rain is falling again as the umbrellas start to pop and the crowd starts to move. Glenn Braggs, base hit, led off the 5th inning, and that was the start of a 3-run inning for the Reds. He now has hit safely in 18 of the 19 starts for this ball club. And Tommy, I really kind of doubt that Eric would be running because of the problems we've seen with the spikes and the way they have collected so much mud. I don't think they'll take a chance of running Eric. Pitch up and in.
Well, these boxes, the way they are, also taking a chance with Eric. When you slide in this, it's not mud, but it's not quite loose dirt. And when you slide on that stuff, it just makes you come to a complete halt.
Tuffle holding at first as Eric with 1-out lead. High drive left field, should be foul and reach the seats. It does.
You get back to Eric. You don't want to take a chance with that knee either. Still see he has that rubber sleeve on his right knee, his brace. You can see the 2 braces on each side.
He hits a shot. Center field. Carrying back at the warning track. There's Mark Carrion. He'll make the play. And that ball, like Duncan's, would hit extremely well and just carried to the wall.
Well, I really don't know who was fooled here. Also the center fielder, because the ball looked like it was hit well. He goes back, comes in, then goes back a little bit more, and is able to come up with it because of the. There's a couple of. The wind has picked up a little bit, blowing straight in from the left field over to right field. Sometimes it helps coming out of that center field through the opening that's in center field.
The ball's so high, though. As you said, he made two moves. He went back to the wall, came in, and then had the drift again. So the wind definitely had some effect. Bragg's really got all of that one. As the Reds are with having 2 outs now, and ground ball past Pena. Jeffries throws kind of awkwardly to Kevin Elster, but it gets the job done. Base hit, runner stranded, and that's 10 in the inning, 10 in the game. Reds lead 4-0.
You want to see some fireworks? Come on down next Friday, July 20th, when the Reds take on the Phillies at 7:35, and you can watch the Reds light up the scoreboard. And then after the game, you can watch Marathon light up the sky. That's right, it's Marathon's firework night at Riverfront. It's a great family outing, exciting Reds baseball, followed by spectacular fireworks beginning 1/2 hour after the game. Tickets are available at the Reds ticket office, the Reds gift shop at the Hyatt, and through all Ticketmaster locations. So come on down next Friday, July 20th, and watch the fireworks on and off the field.
Greg Jeffries becomes the first out. He skied high in the infield, and he is still making his way back to the dugout. Strawberry will be swinging before he reaches there. He will be taking. It's inside.
He's making a way over there very slow.
Listen to the crowd as they start to build the crescendo of Darrell. Rain is continuing to fall. Strawberry lined a shot off the right field wall, was held to a single, and did he check his swing, said Tom Browning, and Bruce Fleming said, I'm not even going to bother to ask. Count will go full. Browning was perfect through the first 4 innings. Count stays full as Strawberry fouls, and Tom Browning, if he wasn't pitching fast before, really getting fast now. High drive center field. It'll carry. It'll carry. It'll go out of here. Man. Number 23, and
that ball looked like it got in on him, and he just
that happens, and then all of a sudden you just see, it's kind of like Eric a lot of times when he's hitting the ball well, the head of the bat just flies for that last 2 feet. And maybe the crowd now will not be yelling Darrell quite so much. They woke him up some more.
You said something earlier about hitting in the center field. It wasn't as far, but still got the job done. And Eric goes back. You can see that he just has his head right down on that bat, and he knew it, that he hit it well enough to go back. Eric said he was going to steal it, but can't jump that high. Darrell Strawberry.
Is Browning picked up a little quicker pace?
Yeah, he's gone as fast as he can go right now.
You said that he did that in Philadelphia and had a 3-run lead.
I talked to him about it, and he says, yeah, I know. I was just going as fast as I could go instead of just trying to take it easy, go at my normal pace, which is just fast anyway. And he says, I just tried to get them all out in one time.
Well, that's when Oliver has to come in and be of assistance. He has to try to slow him down as well. And well, Strawberry's going to hit his home runs, and Joe Oliver's doing a good job handling the pitching staff. 4-1, Reds lead. 2-2 pitch. Hit shallow center field. Wind really blowing this one, and Eric will catch it in short right field.
Eric came drifting in, and he was taking, Mariano was going back, Eric didn't know what was going on because he just kind of looked at Mariano. He takes a look right before he came in the rest of the way. So 2 outs.
Mark Curion stands in. Father, a catcher for the White Sox, Indians, and Orioles during the 59 to 66 period. Pitch misses at the knees. 2-1.
We're talking about Mark Carrion and Darryl Boston before the game. And they were saying how much of a platoon situation that those 2 guys are doing. What a job they're doing this year. And they said they were both happy, and somebody said, yeah, they're always happy when they're winning.
Carrion thought that Browning had him on that pitch. It's 3-2.
Carrion with 10 home runs. Darryl Boston with 17 home runs between them, 42 RBIs.
Boston 7. That makes, yeah. And Miller has played some there. Here's a drive right side. He hit it well. O'Neill looks up, short of the wall. He makes the play. Took him a while to get to the wall, but he makes the play, and he takes a hard fall coming off of that wooden fence. If we have time, we'll show it to you. Wind carrying this one, and just at the last second, Paul reaches out with that hand to try to gauge himself. Excellent play as the crowd gives him a standing ovation. 4-1 after Strawberry's home run. Bottom of the 7th, Alejandro Pena on in relief with Frank Viola.
You were too wrapped up.
I would love that.
Wrapped that in that 7-inning stretch, yeah.
That's fun. Fun when you're leading 4-1 and the fans are screaming and waving and they're having a good time. And of course they were kind of inspired to sing by the great play of Paul O'Neill to end that inning, and Carrion hit that ball well. This one fouled off, and it's 1-1. Maybe we can take another look at it.
Carrion hit the ball as good as he could hit it to the opposite field, especially in Cincinnati. The ball carries well. Paul just drifts back and makes an excellent decision as far as when he wanted to catch that ball.
He was coming down at the angle, and really the big blow was somewhat on his shoulder, but he took it off the side of the head as well. As Paul would probably say, it was probably the best place for him to take it. Paul has got a great sense of humor. Pena misses high, and it's 3-1.
We've seen a lot of good plays here tonight.
I've got 2 stars by mine.
Eric Davis, Paul O'Neill. This Dayton baseball. Reggie Jackson hit that home run off of that generator in Tiger Stadium in the All-Star game, 1971.
Yeah, it says that Monmouth home run. They made me forget mine. They didn't even remember mine that I hit. Mine went as far as his did.
Did you hit it left-handed?
No, right-handed up in that upper deck in right center field. Strike 3 swinging. He dropped behind in the count 3-1, and then comes back to get a strikeout on Benziger. Now it'll be Mariano Duncan.
Where's the camera?
Yelling at. What did he do? Borrow Randy Myers' shirt? And the judge, of course, as always, undercover. He's undercover more than James Bond. Look at there. He's got right underneath that little overhang, and he's just the other guy's in a duck blind. No balls and a strike. Foul at the plate. No balls and 2 strikes. Well, we'll have the updates on the scoreboard. National League and American League scores, the Valvoline scoreboard in the 8th inning. Some serious home runs in the Orioles-Minnesota Twin game. Reds lead 4-1. One out here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Mariano Duncan on via an error, singled and scored the first run, and then doubled in a run and scored on a wild pitch. So good night for Mariano. Fastball upstairs, 2-2. You got all those home runs down?
I got them down.
Okay, we're going to bring them to you, and that'll be in the bottom of the 8th because the American League comes up then. Good pitch, and it just missed. Count full. 35,000. 35,336, and 5,000 or so above the average for the Reds this year. And we've got Saturday and Sunday to come. Here for this series, high pop-up, back of second. He'll make the call. Jeffries will, and he'll make the play. Jeffries not a quitter. He is a bulldog. I tell you, I like him. I'm not sure I like him at second base, but I like to have him on my club.
Well, he's not going to show any pain as far. I mean, he's showing it, but he's not letting his manager see it. Although
I don't believe that Bud Harrelson is that blind.
I can't believe they didn't see him walking. The trainer didn't even go down him after he walked off that slow.
Well, he's sort of like a catcher. And what good's he going to do to go down there? He's tell him I'm fine. Spit on it. Let's go.
Also in this date, 1982 All-Star game in Montreal, Canada.
That's a Mike Tardy, 0-2. What happened there?
National League won 4-1.
And they won all the time in the 70s and 80s, and lately it has been 4 out of 5 for the American League. Fastball fouled back. Watch the umbrella. May have saved a kid. The guy sacrificed an umbrella, and the youngster, I guess he's a catcher because he's got that hat on backwards, and it may have caught him and may have saved the little girl behind him. Good thinking. Pena, here comes that breaking ball down and away. Nope, it's a fastball, and it's fouled back, and they're really hunting heads down there now.
Fired up. Let me see it. Caught me by surprise.
There's the breaking ball. It misses down and away. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Check to swing on a breaking ball that hung inside, and it's 2-2. The slugger himself. 2 sacrifices and a double tonight for Pug. Slider. Count stays at 2. There's the old skipper, and on the left, a good friend of ours, Doc Edwards. Right, pitching coach Mel Stottlemyre. Fastball fouled back. And nice catch. Right in the leather, man. Nice going. It's got a big black spot on it, too. He's showing me the ball down here, and it's got a big black mark on it. Strike 3 call. Breaking ball caught the inside edge. Reds go scoreless in the inning. 1-2-3 for Pena. It's 4-1 as we go to the 8th.
This is an update from News 5.
Good evening, I'm Jerry Springer. Coming up tonight at 11, more Cincinnati police officers will be pounding the pavement this summer as a way to end the crime streak. Well, that's only one of many changes taking place. We'll give you the full report. Also tonight, we'll tell you why Sam Weish got dunked in the dog pound today. And we'll tell you about 2 new rare dragons strutting their stuff at the zoo. We'll have all the news at 11. We'll see you then.
8th inning we go. And Tom Browning carries a 4-1 lead into this 8th inning. I mentioned that he rushed in Philadelphia. Let's see if he slows down here, because he started rushing a little bit in the 7th inning. It'll be Elster, Mikado, and a pinch hitter. Strike call, taking all the way. Jeff Ennis warming up in the bullpen.
I'm going to correct myself about that rush job. That was in Montreal when he pitched 8 1/3 innings.
Shot right field. It'll be fair and extra bases. O'Neill will get it back to the infield, and Elster coasts in with a double. And for Elster, that is his 19th double of the year. His extra bases, he's got 19 doubles, a triple, and 8 home runs. That's 28 extra base hits. And he only has 59 hits.
Randy Myers heads down to the Reds bullpen.
In the New York Minute. High pop, left side. Braggs is there. One gone. They have put some hurting on National League pitching of late. The New York Mets, in 44 games, 64 home runs, 164 extra base hits. That is impressive. And of the 30 games, they've hit 309. Dave Magadan, nephew of Lou Piniella, will come on to pinch hit here with 1 out in the 8th inning, and we'll look at some scores right now.
Valvoline scoreboard in the National League. Los Angeles defeats Chicago today on 14 hits. San Diego at Pittsburgh here in the 5th inning. Rasmussen, Drabek for Pittsburgh. Montreal and Atlanta, rain delay. Philadelphia at Houston in the 3rd inning. Philadelphia leading to Jesus and Mike Scott.
Base hit will score a run, and Magadan will go into second base, and the lead cut in half. It's 4-2.
And in St. Louis, San Francisco, they're scoreless after 2 innings. That's Don Robinson against Jose De Leon, and your update on the Valvoline scoreboard. Take a look at American League in the bottom of the inning.
Well, he got a pitch up to Magadan, and Piniella, who used Myers last night for an inning and a third, trying to avoid going to the bullpen with only 1 out here in the 8th.
Bruce Fromming trailing Joe Oliver. He's not going to give him any time to go out there and talk.
Unless he wants to look at the baseball, I don't understand why we have to hurry all of a sudden. Browning would be the leadoff man, so Lou may be making a double switch, and
the pinch hitters have done it tonight for the Mets. Miller with a pinch hit in the 6th. Pinch hit by Dave Magadan here in the 8th inning.
double switch being made. Benzinger will come out of the lineup. Morris will go out to play first base, and it is now time for the Valvoline pitching change challenge. If you're thinking of changing your oil, change the Valvoline. We'll be back to play the Valvoline pitching change challenge right after this. Well, Reds lead at 4-2, 1 out, man at second base in the person of Dave Magadan. Hal Morris goes over to first base in the double switch, and Randy Myers will come on to pitch. And well, Julie Adams will be playing the Valvoline pitching change challenge. Julie has won a Sony Watchman TV from Valvoline and Channel 5, but if Randy Myers strikes out the first batter he faces, Howard Johnson, then Julie Adams will be entered in the grand prize drawing for a 1990 Toyota 4x4 truck. First pitch high.
Randy Myers working in his 36th game. 46 innings pitched, giving up only 27 hits. #1 in the National League in saves, and only in 21 opportunities. His last 11 outings, he's only allowed 1 run with 8 hits and 16 in the 3rd innings. That's a 0.55 earned run average. And
Tell me about the strikeouts. Julie wants to know.
He has a lot of strikeouts. And he's even up right now, 1-1 on his strikeouts. 57 strikeouts. 56 strikeouts. We're going to make it 57 for her right now.
Well, Julie Adams, Amelia, Ohio, who signed up at Nationwide.
Julie, he is above average on the strikeouts, so we're pulling for you. He struck out 56 and 46, so that's an average 11 per 9 innings.
Well, the tying run is at the plate. That is Howard Johnson. Dave Magadan pinch hit double. He's driven in a run. Pitch misses away, and it's 2-1. 2 pinch hits tonight, and the Reds really, pitching has really shut down the National League as far as pinch hitters are concerned.
In a recent Sporting News poll, and you're talking about tough pitchers to hit, Norm Charlton was tied for 3rd with Oral Hershiser. Frank Viola and Joe McGrain 1-2. The panel of 4 batters: Tony Gwynn, Lonnie Smith, Mark Grace, and Pedro Guerrero.
Strike. That's a good one. I don't know if Johnson is mad at himself for not being able to pull the trigger. No, he's a little upset at Bruce Fleming.
I need to correct myself. #1, Dwight Gooden. #2, Sid Fernandez. Well, those top 5, Mets have 3 of those pitchers.
Yeah, well, Gooden's tough always. They've only hit .207 against Fernandez, and Viola's 13-3. Check the swing. Did he?
Looked like a good pitch from here, but Bruce has the best angle.
Yeah, he looked like he checked it. It's 3-2.
Well, I didn't mean about checking it. I thought it was a
Over the plate.
pitch. Yeah.
Pretty good height. Full count. 3-2. 1 out. On deck, Timmy Tuffle. Popped in the air. In the infield. Here comes Larkin. He's calling off everyone, and he makes the play. Myers calls it and gets out of the way, and Julie Adams, well, you are not going to be entered in our grand prize drawing. If you want to enter the Valvoline Pitching Change Challenge, here's all you have to do. Stop by your Valvoline retailer and fill out an official Valvoline Pitching Change Challenge entry form. No purchase required. Then during our televised games when the Reds change pitchers, you'll have a chance to play the challenge. If your name is drawn, you win a Sony Watchman TV from Valvoline and Channel 5. And if the pitcher strikes out the first batter he faces, you'll be entered for the grand prize drawing for a 1990 Toyota 4x4 truck. Get to your Valvoline retailer today. Enter your name in the Valvoline Pitching Change Challenge. No purchase necessary. But you probably will wind up buying something since they have such good stuff. 2 outs. Tuffle. 1 for 3. Looks at a breaking ball in, and it's 2-0. Jeffrey's eyes moved to the on-deck circle. Ennis was warming in the pen and continues to warm. As Magadan came on to pinch hit for Alejandro Pena, the second pitcher of the game for the New York Mets. Fly ball, right field. And we're out of the inning. Myers does the job. Mets come up with a run. They still trail 4-2, bottom of the 8th.
Today's game is brought to you by Busch Beer. Head for the mountains of Busch. By Toyota. Toyota, I love what you do for me. Community Mutual, Blue Cross, and Blue Shield. Community Mutual, the strength to lead.
We are is a 4-2 ball game, and Jeff Ennis will come in to pitch. He will bat in the 2nd spot as Dave Magadan will stay in and bat in the 9th spot, and he will play first base.
Jeff Ennis working in his 10th game, his 11th game. He has worked 13 innings, given up 9 hits. Walked 6, struck out 4. not an overpowering pitcher. Throws from underneath. Just in here to try to hold this lead for the Mets. And leading off will be Hal Morris with a knock.
A serious knock. This man is playing well. He was player of the week after that performance during the Montreal-Philadelphia week and filling in for Todd Benzinger, and he steps right up there and does the job.
Well, he's been as hot as you can come.
A great way to reward yourself after the game, win or lose, is with a clean, crisp taste of a Beechwood aged Budweiser. Yeah, this Bud's for you. And Morris, studying signs, gets a short lead and now has to come back. There goes Morris, hit and run on, foul at the plate. Morris has had an RBI in each of the last 8 games, 10 total. 2 games short of Joe Morgan's team record, and of course now we don't want it to go to extra innings, so that's the only way he's going to get an RBI. So right now they have to get back to first.
Well, the Reds are 6-6 so far in this stretch of 22 straight games they have against the East. 27-16 versus the East this year. 24-14 against the West.
Breaking ball misses away. 1-1. Take a look at some scores.
Take a look at the Valvoline American League scoreboard. Minnesota a loser to Baltimore. That's a final. Minnesota had home runs. Gaddy hit his 10th. Herbeck his 12th. Sereno hit his 2nd. For Baltimore, Milligan hit his 17th, 16th, and 17th. Bradley, grand slam, also his 2nd home run. Minnesota and Baltimore in the 2nd game are scoreless after 2. Chicago and New York. Chicago leading in the 6th inning. Peterson versus Carey. Kansas City and Boston. Kansas City leading in the 6th. Texas and Detroit only in the 3rd inning. Detroit leading. Toronto and California. Milwaukee and Oakland. Cleveland and Seattle. They're all later tonight. Have to find out. You're up to date now on the American League Valvoline scoreboard.
Ennis pitched 2 innings last night, gave up nothing. There goes Morris, another hit and run, and the hanging slider fouled back to the screen. Good performance by Jeff, though. Walked only 1, did not have a strikeout, just matter-of-factly did it. But tonight he faces Hal Morris, and Morris had an RBI last night, is on at first with nobody out, and the Reds holding to a 2-run lead.
Ennis picked up his first major league save on June the 29th. Only has 1 this year.
Sinker fouled.
Well, began the season with the Mets. Then he was optioned to Tidewater on the 26th of April, and then he came back on June 18th.
Who would have thought or even guessed? The best guess probably wouldn't have figured out we would necessarily be here unless we were in extra innings at 9:54 with Browning and Viola pitching. But the Reds got to Viola.
Got to him early.
Gave up 9 hits. Only 4 runs only. They had the Reds left 2 on in the 1st, 3 in the 2nd, 1 in the 3rd, 2 in the 4th. They had runners first at 2nd and 3rd, but nobody out. Viola struck out the next 3 batters. They had the bases loaded, and he struck out Larkin in the inning. Swing and a miss on a big wide breaking ball. Here's Barry Larkin, who's picked up 2 hits tonight, 2 for 4. Barry in the doubleheader last night had 4 hits, 2 per game, and now he grounds 1, which could be a double play. Jeffries will turn it over on a hop to Magana. He digs out nicely, and the Reds will try to shut down the New York Mets in the 9th inning and hold on to win this ball game. They lead it 4-2.
Fans Take a note right here. Saturday, July 21st is Donruss Baseball Card Holder Day when the Reds meet the Phillies at 1:15 p.m. The first 15,000 fans in attendance 16 years and under will receive a baseball card holder book, a starter set of Donruss baseball cards featuring your favorite Reds players, and it's exciting. Reds Action, a free baseball card holder and starter set thanks to Reds, Donruss, and it's a collector's choice from Donruss.
Jeffries hitting the first pitch, ground ball handled easily by Sabo, one gone. Marge is signing so many autographs down there, she may not see the last out. We got them lined up down there.
I kind of thank old Greg Jeffries for going up to the plate.
I know, I was thinking the same thing. We got to the situation. Well, if we go back to our tees from the start of this game, you would see a called strike 3, and that was exactly the same pitch last night. That got it. It is called a ball. Fastball, that is a strike.
How about that one?
Yeah, the Reds defeat Tom Seaver and the New York Mets 5-3 with a 4-run 8th inning to conclude a streak begun on May 21st in which the club won 41 of 50. That's right, folks. Mark it down. 41 out of 50 games.
Oh, hot. Gosh.
That's Reds.
Was that the year that they won 70 out of the first 100?
No, that was 1970. 70. So you can remember that one. Line shot, backhanded by Duncan. He'll get up and throw to Morris. Make that a star.
3 stars tonight. Good play by Mariano Duncan. It was more than good, exceptional.
He wants to smile. He wants to smile.
Go
Nice
ahead.
play. He knows it. But they got one more out to go.
Now, Randy Myers, his job is to get him out no matter how he does it. Darrell was right on that pitch right there. He thinks it's a base hit. He's getting out of that box just kind of real easy.
You're right,
Look at
Tommy.
that.
If he goes hard right away,
He knows it.
but he hit it
hits
so hard, it takes effort.
What a play by Mariano Duncan.
2 outs. McReynolds looked to the strike. Reds lead it 4-2. Fastball misses inside. McReynolds 0 for 3 on the night. On deck, Mark Carrion. Swing and a miss.
We'll hear some
1-2.
Everybody on their feet.
They must have heard you. The rest of them are getting up.
This is what it's all about right here.
Lined into the gap. Extra bases. No! McReynolds falls down. He'll still wind up with 2.
The play was already set up. Hits the ball in the gap. It's a fastball, breaking pitch right down the middle. Drills it right into left center field. Eric Davis plays off and he slips right on the bag going around first base, but he's able to, does not take his eye off the ball. That was a key play for him. Does not take his eye off the ball. He's able to see the play right in front of him.
Big man here. Carry on the tying run. Swings and fouls it back. He doesn't get cheated. Kevin Elster on deck. In the second game, Mark Carrion hit his 10th home run. A 2-run shot.
Kind of reminds me of Glenn Wilson standing up there.
Does a little bit, doesn't it? Fastball away. He takes it. Good eyes. I wish you wouldn't have said that.
Look at that pitch.
The last time we saw Glenn Wilson. Lou, it doesn't come easy, does it? Talked about that before the game. It just seems like in the 7th, 8th, 9th inning, there's always a chance that the other club can get back in the game. He's got his big man in there, though. He did it last night in the second game of the doubleheader. Good pitch on the knees, down and away. 1-2. We'll try it again.
Randy throws a fastball right down away. Gets a second strike. Carry-on steps out. Randy Myers steps off.
One and two. The count is full. 2 outs. Top of the 9th. And Lou Piniella was not the only one that wanted that pitch. Randy Myers thought he might have had a good eye by Carry-on. They'll work him away. Fastball fouled off. Hopefully we will not see Kevin Elster. That's the man we would like to avoid. Popped up back of short. Larkin says he has it. Reds win. Randy Myers, 19th save. He wins it for Tom Browning, and the fireworks go off. We'll be right back and wrap this up.